So what is serverless? You don't have to think about infrastructure. You are not responsible for turning infrastructure on or off, scaling infrastructure up or down, monitoring infrastructure. In short, you focus on your code and let the platform take care of everything else. This is also known as functions as a service. So what is Oracle Functions? In the Oracle Cloud, we have a functions as a service offering integrated with the Oracle Cloud infrastructure. Functions is container native. Functions are deployed as container images and then run as Docker containers. Functions is based on an open source project called FN project, and it's completely secure with the OCI networking, identity, and compartment structure. What are the benefits? With any serverless platform, you would pay only for the actual execution time. You don't pay anything if your functions are not running. The platform is fully autonomous, so you don't worry about provisioning, managing servers, and the platform will take care of auto-scaling your functions. There are a number of event triggers in Oracle Cloud, which will run your functions automatically for you. So how does the whole thing work? We give you a CLI, you write your function code, you test it, you run the FN build and FN deploy. That'll convert your code into a Docker image and push it to the registry. And we allow you to set a bunch of optional function triggers. These are rules that you define based on which your function needs to execute. When those conditions are satisfied, that is when the code will run. And as a customer, you only pay for the actual code execution. How does the pricing work? There are two dimensions. One is the number of function requests or number of requests made to your function, and the amount of memory that is used when the function is actually running. So we have a healthy free tier. The first 2 million requests every month are free, and an additional 400,000 gigabyte seconds per month are also free. And once you cross the free threshold, you can see the charge beyond the free threshold. Our number of invocations are twice the number of invocations available in AWS Lambda, and we are 50% cheaper than AWS. So moving on to the languages that we support, we have rich support for Python, Java, Go, Node, and Ruby. In addition to that, we let you customize the Docker file. We let you bring your own Docker file. You can also use Micronaut serverless framework. You can also use Graal native images to reduce the size of the image and the memory for your functions. So what are the various ways in which you can trigger functions? We have a number of services in OCI that can trigger your functions. The event service, notifications, API gateway, service connector, which supports logs and streams, Oracle Integration Cloud, and you can of course use the CLI SDK. Once you trigger your function, the service will pull the Docker image from the OCI registry. In your functions, you can grant your functions access to use any of the OCI services. Your function can read from object storage and write to an autonomous database, for instance. And you can, while the function's executing, you can send logs, metrics, and traces to OCI monitoring, logging, and APM service respectively. So what are the common customer use cases for serverless and functions? If you have to describe the use case in one sentence, it would be you can trigger code in response to any event. And the common use cases that people run in the Oracle Cloud are event-driven governance, which means you may have audit logs and flow logs. And on those audit events or networking events, you may want to take some action. The action could be as simple as routing those logs from Oracle Cloud into your preferred security incident management system like Splunk. You can also expose your functions as REST API endpoints for various devices like web and mobile backends to consume. You can use functions for real-time file and stream processing. So like you may have an image file coming into object storage, and you may want to read the image file, convert that image into a thumbnail or images of different sizes, etc. Similarly, you can use it for machine learning and DevOps use cases as well.
Let me show you guys what we're going to build during this demo. We've got an environment for all of you, and we're going to use 4 services in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. The first one obviously is going to be our functions as a service service there. So we'll use that. And alongside that, we're also going to use our event service. So this is a service in OCI that allows it to raise events based on a change in the infrastructure. And it works on a common cloud standard called Cloud Event. And we can use that event to trigger a function, which is what we're going to do today. And we'll actually trigger that with our object storage. So we've got a bucket for all of you in our object storage service, and we will react to the upload of a file into that bucket. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to upload a picture, a graphic picture into the bucket. We'll trigger the event, and eventually we're going to insert some metadata into a database. And that database is running in Oracle's autonomous database service. And we're using autonomous transaction processing, which is running on a serverless platform. You don't need to worry about virtual machines, patching the operating system. You just get the database you've asked for. It's self-learning, self-driving, self-tuning, and self-healing. And we'll interact with the database via a REST API. So we've got this ORS, which is Oracle REST Data Services, allows us to call the database operations through a really simple REST API. And we'll actually build some code with the FN CLI. So it's polyglot, so we can choice of languages. We're actually going to build in Java. We've got a choice of a whole rake of languages like Node, Go, etc. We'll build this function. We'll use FN CLI as part of the instructions. We've got the code for you. You will package it and deploy that to our function service. We've deployed our function, and it's waiting for one of these events. We can then define an event rule. So we will filter the events based on the bucket that we're interested in, and we'll pipe that event and trigger our function based on that event rule. And once we've done that, we're good to go. We can upload graphics into our bucket. So we'll just use the OCI console to upload them. That'll trigger a cloud event, which will be filtered by an event rule and cause us to invoke the function. And that function will then call the REST API and insert some metadata about that image into the database for us. So very easy, very simple. We've got 25 environments ready for you guys to use, and full instructions and the code ready. And of course, what happens if we start to do this at full speed, if we deploy this application and we have lots of images being uploaded, we end up with the functions platform managing our function for us and scaling up and spinning up enough instances of that function to cope with that demand. And of course, when demand drops, the number of instances scale back down to zero with zero cost for us. It's one of the great benefits of a functions platform. So that's really an overview of what we'll be doing. I'm going to give you guys a really quick tour of the OCI console. So we've got a login for all of you to the OCI console. The first place that you'll be going to deal with is the functions application itself. So we have what's called a concept called a functions application, which is a holder for lots of individual functions. So if my internet will play ball, there we go. So I've got one called image catalog 99. You guys will all build your own application and deploy inside it a single function. So we've got this image catalog function here. We could deploy more than one function if we've got related tasks to take place. You can see some metrics here. So obviously it's not been run today. I can change the time span and see, has this been run in the last 7 days? You can see it's been run a couple of times in the last 7 days there from our metrics. We've also got some configuration that we're going to insert as part of the hands-on lab. We can put some essentially like environment variables in there as well. So the next place that we're using is that event service. So we'll go to our event rules. And this is where we define an event, a set of rules that match some change in the OCI environment. And you can see I've got this FN user 99 rule here. Okay, so I can dig in, and the hands-on lab instructions will guide you with how to build this event. So we're actually taking one action, which is to invoke the function that you just seen there, but we could add another action. So we can do a fan-out pattern here. So we could invoke more than one function based on the same action. We could pipe that event to our notification service and raise some notification, or we could pipe it to our streaming service in OCI and do some downstream processing on that based on whatever the application requires for us. So that's how we can invoke something. And we've got a matching rule here where we're triggering this event based on an object being created in the object storage. And we're also filtering it under attributes here where it's only for objects uploaded to that bucket that we saw just a moment ago. And we'll also have a quick look at our storage, our object storage bucket. And you'll see here that we've got a bucket pre-created for all of you guys. So from FN user 21 to 25. But the one I'm interested in is 99, which is the one I'll be using for the demo. So we can scroll down to the bottom of this list of object storage buckets. And this is one of the canonical use cases for functions is processing files like this. And we have customers that are looking at processing blueprints for construction industry, processing pictures taken of crops, etc. A little bit slow at the moment. So you can see this is my bucket here. I have nothing in the bucket at the moment. And the really important thing is this emit object event. So we can configure the bucket to emit events to the event service when changes are made. So whether a new bucket is created, whether an object is modified or object is deleted, or in our case, when an object is uploaded. So before we trigger this function, just one thing I wanted to show you is the database itself. So we're running an autonomous database. We've got a shared database for everybody in hands-on today. And I've configured the REST API with Swagger. So it means I can execute queries with REST against the database. And there's instructions for you guys to do this. So if I click execute here, it'll run a GET request against our database. And what we should see is that the really important thing is this row here where items is 0. We've got no rows in the database right now. So let's quickly insert something. So I can go upload and I'll pick a file from my computer. Of course, you could automate this in a real application. So if I pick a file, what have we got? We'll pick this one and we'll upload that. If I click upload, what will happen, that will be uploaded to the object store bucket. It will trigger the event. The event will be filtered by the event service. I think that's uploaded successfully, yeah. And I'll close that. And that will trigger our function. So if we go back to, I think the best place to look at this is probably our function. So I'll go back to our functions application. Okay, we can see whether we've managed to trigger this based on that change in our OCI infrastructure. So I'll go back to functions itself. The specific function I'm interested in. It takes a little bit of time for the metrics to come through. We can change that. See our last hour. Take a little bit of time to come through, but what we can do is we can query the database. We'll run this query. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for the first invocation of the day. And you can see there my items array in the JSON that's returned in the bottom right. I've got a 200 code that's returned, and I've got row number 85, item number 85 has been inserted. And what we should find is part of the metadata it's pulled back, as well as some details about it and who uploaded it. We've got a URL to be able to view the picture itself. So there we go, got a picture of somebody skiing. That's brilliant. Okay, so that's a really quick tour. We want to give you plenty of time to do this yourself. So I'm going to just step forward to some instructions about how you guys can get hold of the hands-on environment. Okay, so what we've got is 25 environments pre-created for you. So we're going to hand them out via this environment spreadsheet. So if you click on that top bit.ly link there, that will take you to a Google Sheet where you can fill in your name against one of the environments, and that will give you a student number. So from 1 to 25, it will give you a username and password to log into the OCI console, and it will give you the IP of a lab virtual machine that you need to SSH to. So you guys are going to need an SSH client today. You can use PuTTY, you can use OpenSSH in the command line, or you can use SSH Chrome browser plugin. So we're going to be working in a tenancy called OSC EMEA 001, which is the second link there. And you will also see in the third bit.ly link is a zip file that you need to download, which is SSH key. We've got a PPK and an open SSH key for you to connect to that lab VM. And we've also got in the fourth bit.ly link, the third bit.ly link, the fourth line, the fourth bullet point, a link to some instructions for you. So if you click on that, you should open some instructions in GitHub. If you don't get a chance to use one of those 25 environments, or you want to explore a little bit further, there is some samples there. And there's also Mark and I and Sachin are going to be around for the rest of the next hour to help you guys with this hands-on. So either come online and speak to us or put a question in chat if you're a little bit stuck. I've got to say that the key thing is to follow those instructions carefully. So even logging in, you need to be quite careful and look at the screenshots that are in the lab and make sure that you log into the right place. Do things in the order that they're in those instructions, and you should be fine. So hope that's clear. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Angus, can you you'll need to paste in the links.
Okay. Could someone not? Oh, great. It would have been great if someone could have done that.
Well, the Sachin seems to have disappeared.
All right. Let me just paste all these into the chat for you. Let me see if I could find mine. Here we go. I'll find the chat. I'll go to the chat. Okay, so there we go, guys. So you should be able to see all of those. So the first link there is the link to the Google spreadsheet. Hopefully you guys can get to that. Yeah, I can see people are putting their names in there. So somebody's picked number 9. The first person has picked number 9. So number 9 must be a lucky number.
Lucky number.
Let me see. How are we getting on? We've got a question from Ray there. So perhaps you could, well, I can answer that online while people are logging in. So Ray, you know, the ATP is a serverless database, but it is primarily relational. So we have various flavors of it. ATP is transaction processing. It's a standard relational database, but all of the management of it is done autonomously. So you don't have to interact with it via the REST API. We're doing that because it's kind of easy for the lab. You could use a standard JDBC driver or whatever driver you have for the language you want to use and issue standard relational statements against it. There's also a multimodal option. There's a JSON database, an object store database in Autonomous as well, if you want to just store JSON. So we have a lot of choices in the Oracle Oracle Cloud infrastructure, yeah? So let me see, how are we getting on? Are people filling that spreadsheet?
There's only one person at the moment that's actually put their name against, so.
All right, I will put an explicit...
Just to clarify, I guess, so if you want to do the hands-on lab, the first thing you need to do is go to that spreadsheet, the first link, put your name against one of the open slots, and then download the artifacts file, which is the second link, and then the instructions. So you'll need to, first of all, make sure you get your name into one of the slots and then remember your name.
All right, so so Ray is saying, Geometry is saying the link doesn't work. Right, so I'll paste them in one at a time. So
yeah, I think what's happened is that tenancy word has got appended to the Bitly link. Can you hear me? I'm back. I had a lot of audio videos.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oops, got the name wrong. OSC Media. Okay, so I've just put the link in individually. So let's see how we're getting on.
Cool.
People getting that now? Thank you, Geometry. Well done. You'll also need the lab artifacts file. That's the zip file with the SSH keys in. And the instructions are here on GitHub. So let me paste that last one in.
So you'll need, it's not creating your new users. You'll need to select one of the existing 25 slots. So don't create a new user, just put your email or your name against one of the slots that doesn't have a student email against it.
Yeah, Abirami. That's if you could pick one of the existing 25 Abirami rather than adding 26. Yeah, you'll need to pick one of the existing ones from 01 to 25. How are we getting on? I'll just send Abirami a message.
Yeah, I was just going to do that. If you're doing that, all right.
Oh, what nice one, Abirami. Well done. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I think I have already.
If you have any issues getting a slot in the spreadsheet, please just speak or put something in the chat.
Let's check the spreadsheet. A few folk in there. Okay, that's brilliant. So just for the guys that are starting, you know, this is, I'll quickly share this. Quickly share this. Okay. So I'll just log out here. Just want to be. This is the OCI console. There'll be a link to it in the instructions. We're going to build our stuff in London today, but you know, Oracle has nearly 30 regional cloud data centers, so you could not for the lab, but if you're using this in production, you could pick one of those regions. But we're going to use London today, and just to be sure, when you log in, make sure you pick this little down arrow here, and you use this Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Direct sign in. So this is where you're going to be signing in with those FM user usernames, not this one. Don't press this continue up above. That's for a federated user. So we want this little down arrow. You need to click this and put in the user that's from the spreadsheet in there. That'd be wonderful. So how's folk getting on? Everybody happy? I'll put these links back in. Okay, guys, so lab instructions are there. Awesome, nice work, Srinivasan. And you guys, to log into the machine, the lab VM that we provisioned for you, you'll need the SSH key that's in here. I think if you wanted, we're going to leave these environments up, so you don't need to finish this in the foot. We will leave these environments up for most of the rest of the day here in the UK. So you should be able to, for the rest of your day at the conference, you should be able to finish this off. You don't need to get everything done in the next 45 minutes. But if you're interested and you want to try our stuff a little bit later on, we have a set of samples on GitHub that you can run on a free trial. So if you get yourself a free trial for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, you'll be able to try those samples then. So yeah, so if you are thinking of giving it a go, just pick yourself a number from the spreadsheet. That'll give you the IP of the virtual machine that we've prepared for you with all of the assets on it that you need to run the lab, and it'll give you a login there, a named number to log into Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Yeah, great point, Mark. So if you don't want to actually do the hands-on, but you're interested in the subject of serverless, it's a great opportunity. Mark and I will just get Sachin to answer the questions because he's the guru in this area for us. Great. Like I say, these environments will be up for the rest of the day, so you guys don't need to rush and do this quickly. Don't need to get anxious if you don't finish everything by the end of this breakout session. We'll leave the stuff up and running for you for the rest of the day. And there are samples there on GitHub, and as Jane has just posted in there, there's a free trial offer, so you can put those GitHub samples together with the free trial offer to get your own access to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and try some of the different ones, some of the different examples that we've got in there. So, Geometry, this is probably not working. I think. Let me just double check. If I share my screen quickly, Geometry, Jamori, sorry. I'll share my screen. The really key thing is when you log in, you'll be greeted with this login screen that you can see on the screen in front of you on the left here. Let me just make that a little bit bigger. Okay, you can see this login screen. You've really got to click this down button here and put the FN user into the username and password there. So if you could confirm that's actually what you're doing, that would be wonderful. Are you using that one? Yeah.
FN user 1. Yeah.
And it's not letting you in, Jyotirmoy?
I think that's probably helped.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing click the continue button, no. So if you carefully follow the instructions, it says click this down arrow here. So I've stopped sharing. No, I'm sharing still. So this down arrow, click that down arrow and it will reveal the username and password for the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Direct sign-in. Just give us a thumbs up or something to say that you're in and that the temporary password, it's a one-time password. So if you enter it into the right login screen, it'll ask you to change your password. You just need to change it to something that you understand. Hey, you're in. Fantastic news. That's good to hear. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Thank you.
I guess Nalina was trying to join, and while we were helping Jyotirmoy. So Nalina, if you want to try again, if you want to submit your request again, we can add you back to the moderators.
You're very quiet, Sachin.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I was saying was Nalina was trying to join while we were helping Jyotirmoy. So if Nalina, if you want to join again, or if you have any questions, please connect again. We can add you back to the moderator.
So is Nalina from Oracle, Sachin?
No, I think she was trying to ask a question, I guess.
I see. Yeah. So just pop it in the chat, Nalina, or if you can unmute, that would be fantastic. Let me see if I can send her a direct message, possibly. So Nalina, I just sent you a direct message there, so I don't know. Yeah, so Kishore Kumar, it's a one-time password, so it will ask you to change the password. I think it does say in the instructions to pick something that you remember. So change it to a value that you can remember. There's a fair set of password rules. I think you need one capital letter, a number, and a special symbol. So welcome one and 4 hashes works. Welcome one with a capital W and 4 hashes afterwards. That meets all the rules. But unfortunately, I know what it is. So yeah, these are all one-time passwords. So the password is generated. Okay, so Abarami. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. So I'm assuming if you're having trouble logging in, it's the same problem that Jyotirmoy had. I will share my screen. Okay, I'll full screen it. So you'll be greeted with this screen here. Do not press continue. Okay, it does say in the instructions, so don't press continue there. Below it, there's a Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Direct Sign-In. Press the down button. Okay, and you'll be able to see it will reveal another login screen. So you've got what we call native logins. So you need this down button here to reveal this screen at the bottom, and your password will work in there. So So the guys who are having trouble, so we'll come back to, if you've got a specific issue, Geeta, what number are you, please? Okay, you just need to make sure, guys, that you use this login screen at the bottom here. So it's very, very easy to, thanks, Geeta, 02. So very easy to press this continue button, but you need to press the little down arrow to reveal the login screen at the bottom. So Geeta, let me check 02 for you. So you can see on the screen. I'll copy the password. Okay, so guys, if you're getting invalid username and password, then it's probably because you've clicked the continue button. Okay, what you need to do is click this down arrow to reveal the second login screen. Okay, so if I type fn user 02 and the one-time password. Okay, so yeah, so Geeta, I think you're logging into the wrong. Nice one, Kishore Kumar. Thank you. Yeah, Geeta, you're logging in. You're logging into the wrong login screen. So let me go back here. So as I say, this little down arrow reveals the login screen that you want to use. It is in the instructions. So yeah, don't. I know it's very tempting, and the continue button invites you to press it, but don't do that. Press the down arrow here and reveal this further login screen down here. Yeah. So Abhirami, if you could try that, and Geeta, if you could try that, please, guys. It's this down arrow that we want to be pressing here and revealing the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure direct sign-in. That would be wonderful. Okay. So Geeta, your password is valid. You just need to use the right login screen. Let me just go and see. Tenancy name, Srinivasan, is OSC EMEA 001. I'll type it in here for OSC EMEA 001. You got it? No, thanks. Nice one. Thank you, Mark. Quick off the mark. That's why they call you Mark. Yeah, Geeta, just go ahead and change to something that you like. It says in the instructions to pick something you can remember for a password. So if you don't have any inspiration, capital W for welcome 1 and 4 hashes passes all the password rules. Okay, Abhirami, let me just double check. So can you see my screen, Abhirami? FN user 10. Let me just double check. I'll copy the password. Okay, so I'm definitely pressing this down button here. Okay, yeah, so I can see you, Abhirami, asking for help here. So I'm on the login screen. Okay, press down FN user 10. Okay, that's the password is valid. It's in the spreadsheet, Abhirami. You've really got to make sure that on this sign-in screen here, okay, that you press this down button. Okay. Good stuff, Jyotirmari. Well done, Abhirami. So can you see my screen? This left-hand window. Press that down button. Okay, it reveals this, and this is where you need to put in FN user 10 and the password from the spreadsheet. And it does work, yeah? So do not do not press the continue button, Abirami. Click the little down arrow that is next to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Direct Sign-In, okay? And it'll reveal this second login screen, and this is where you need to put FNuser10 and your password. How you getting on, Abirami? Okay, so let me right, so I'll go through it on the screen for you, okay? So I'm just going to copy your password out of the spreadsheet. Okay, I'll just copy that password. Okay, so first thing, Abirami, is can you confirm that you have got this login screen? I think at the bottom, Abirami, there's a little picture of a monitor if you want to share your screen. I'll stop sharing for a moment. I've stopped sharing. Can you find the share button? You may not be able to have it as an attendee. So I'll tell you what, Abirami, let me walk you through it, okay? So, oh, thanks, Jane. Yeah, okay. So you can see on my screen, I've got the login screen for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Can you confirm that you've got the same screen up on your monitor? So you've got this screen that says OSC EMEA 001. So let me start here. Type in the tenant name, OSC 001. Click continue, and you get this screen. Okay. If you can confirm you're at this screen before you do anything else, do not press continue. Okay. If you could just confirm that you're at this screen. Okay. Akansha, have you picked yourself a row in the spreadsheet? Okay. If someone could give Akansha the link to the spreadsheet. I think you've got the wrong one.
Yeah,
Abirami, yeah, that's the password, right? But what I want you to confirm for me is, see on the left here, I've got this screen, the login screen. I'm not pressing continue. I'm pressing the down arrow at the bottom there, okay? And then if I type FNuser10, okay, and paste in the password from the spreadsheet like that, okay? Akansha, if you go to that spreadsheet link that Sachin has shared, that you can pick one of the 3 rows that doesn't have an email in it, and you'll be able to get the username and password. Yeah. So Abirami, so does your screen look like this? I've clicked this down arrow and I've put FNuser10 and the password in there, and I click sign in, and I get this change password. So that tells me that the password is correct. Okay. So just to go through that again. Okay, clicking that down arrow, I'm putting FNuser10 in there and the password. Okay. It's the password that you've got. I click sign in, and it asks me to change, yeah? So can you give that a go, Abirami? That would be wonderful. Yeah, Geeta, a tenancy is like a grouping of all the cloud resources that a customer would use in OCI. And a tenancy allows you to build stuff in lots of different regions. So you could build stuff in the US, you could build it in India and JPAC as well. So it's a really mixed, it's a way to look to, it's an umbrella for all of the cloud resources that you would build, yeah? Hi, Abhirami, I am speaking to you, Abhirami. So if you can just press the down arrow here on this login page. So I suspect what you're doing is clicking continue. Okay, press the down arrow and put FN user 10 and your password in there. Okay.
Yes, I've added Abhirami as a moderator. So Abhirami, if you could share your screen, if you can hear me, I'm Sachin. If
Yes,
you can
yes,
share
Sachin.
your screen, we can help you out. Yeah.
Say this is the password.
Sorry, I still see
You can't
Angus's
see-
screen. So maybe
You can't
Angus
see the
needs.
screen, Abhirami.
Yeah, Abhirami, if you can share your screen. Do you see the moderator controls? You should see a video, audio.
Yes, yes,
Video
sure.
button. The fourth one is screen share. So if you click on it, it'll give you some, like it'll give you a panel and it'll ask you to select which screen you want to share. Are you getting that?
Yes, sir. The entire screen, right? Or a window?
Yeah, select the entire. That's
You
the
can't see
easiest.
the back there.
Okay.
That's the easiest.
Uh,
You have to click on it, otherwise the enable button doesn't come on.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, it's a little tricky to use if you're doing it for the first time.
yes. Can you see now?
Yes,
Right.
something is
Yeah.
coming up. Yeah. But I think you
Right.
need to go to the exact screen that you want to show because, yeah. So
Right. So you're in the wrong one. So you just
FN
go
user
back.
10.
Yeah. So if you could just go back, please, Abhirami. Click the login link down below. So have you got the instructions?
I don't know, if you rather than typing in there, if you just go back one in your browser, so go back to the original login screen. So hit go.
Okay.
Yeah, just
1 minute.
it's the original login. So if you click on there, it's going. That's it. So click on. Yeah. And so paste in there. That's it.
Right. Don't click anything else. So
Okay.
can you see? No,
So
no, no.
don't hit
no.
continue. Don't hit continue.
Okay.
Oh, so go back in your browser. That's it. So go back. So what you've got there, the instructions say don't hit the continue button. Select the down arrow at the bottom there that says or that one. So
direct sign in. Use the direct
and
sign in
that, so
option.
now your FN user you have to put in there. So FN user 10. Yeah, and now paste your password. Is that the password? That might be the link.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't worry.
Try.
So FN user 10 and then back to the password. Yeah, that's it. And it's going to ask you to change that password now. So when you get to this date, so now you have to paste again. And then you've got to put a new password in there, which is, it's got to be a password that you remember.
Actually, one and just add 1, 2, 3 to it or whatever.
And then you should be good now. There you go.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I'll start my lab.
Abhirami,
All right.
yeah, can we remove you from the moderator now and you can continue?
Yes,
with
yes,
your-
yes.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
And just to get to reiterate, because we're coming up with 9 minutes to go, these environments will be around for the rest of the day, so you don't have to rush through. You can do it at your leisure, in a break, You know, obviously you've got other stuff going on, but they will be there, so don't panic.
If you want to join as as a moderator, we can and show your screen if you're running into any issues. Kishore, can you answer that, Angus?
Yeah, Kishore, you don't create VMs here. We've created a VM for you to do the lab with, and the IP of the VM is in the spreadsheet. If you just log into that VM and do the lab, you don't actually have permissions to create new VMs. So, okay, so just a minute. So I think Akansha has an issue logging in. Let me just sort this. Srini's got a Docker login issue. Let me sort that one. So Srini, use this. Okay. So the user that you need to log in as to Docker is this. Okay. So that, and the password you get, from doing that. That's the password for the API user. Yeah. So the 3 steps you should need to do is Docker login, like that. Okay, and the password that you need to do this first. So if you follow the instructions, it'll tell you to get the password. The password for Docker is that. Okay, I think you'll just have to reconnect to SSH, yeah? I think there's a question for you there, Sachin.
So is that the question from Soumya, right? Soumya, I think your question is what is the difference between AWS serverless and Oracle serverless? So in case of, if you saw the introductory video, right, the serverless concept is the same across the board, like whichever cloud provider you go to. So serverless means that you don't worry about infrastructure, you only give us your code. It's a functions as a service platform. You give us your code, you set up an event rule on when you want your code to run, and the platform will automatically, when that condition is satisfied, the platform will automatically run your code. So in the hands-on lab, the scenario is a file will come into an object storage bucket. You have already deployed your code as a function in this platform. You've set up an event rule to say when a file comes into this bucket, trigger my function. It is the same concept implemented, whether you implemented it AWS or Azure or on Oracle Cloud. It's the same concept. Each one has their own names for their services. So we call it Oracle Functions. AWS calls it AWS Lambda. Azure calls it Azure Functions. So whichever approach you take, the end result is going to be like you give the code to the platform and you tell the platform on what event you want it to be triggered, and the platform will take care of handling everything else for you, right? So we will make sure whether it's a single file or whether 100 files coming into the bucket, we will run your code and we will make sure that all of those files get processed for you, right? So that is something which all the serverless platforms, AWS, Azure, Oracle will do for you. That's the promise of functions and serverless. I hope that answers your question.
So Akanza, just checking that you managed to log in. So I think you'll be having the same issues logging in that everyone else has. You got a question from Geeta there, Sachin.
How is the capacity handled based on traffic? So that is a part of the the underlying platform. So functions as a service has a default concurrent limit which is assigned to every tenancy. Right? So in your tenancy, or if you're a customer coming into Oracle Functions, we have a default capacity assigned to every tenancy, and that's a soft limit. So the moment we get, let's say, if we get one file, you're using a small fraction of that capacity. If you get 10 concurrent files into a storage bucket, and that's invoking 10 concurrent functions, so that's that's taking a chunk of that capacity, and so on. So if you are at capacity limit, you will start seeing things like in your metrics, you will start seeing throttling, for example, right? You will see some requests are being throttled because there's not enough capacity. So if you start seeing something like that, or if you know that you need more than what the service can offer, there is a simple process for you to go and request for additional capacity, and that soft limit which has been assigned to every tenancy can be increased by the support team for you. Right? So we give you an initial capacity to start with, and then depending on your workloads, depending on how much you really need, you can request for more capacity, and then the support teams will go and increase your capacity to a very high limit for you, right? So that you can run real production workloads on the cloud. So there is a way for customers to go and request more capacity, but scaling and all is handled for you by the platform behind the scenes. So you don't really have to worry. That's the promise of the serverless platform.
Thanks, Sachin. So I just wanted to check a cancer. You're able to log in okay. It's really important to follow the login instructions carefully. So I'm just going to share my screen again, okay? And I'm on the login page here. In fact, I will go back. So the first thing you'll see is this screen here asking you.
I think that's key. That's key, Angus. It's not the screen you're on. You've got to have, when you go from when you click in the link in the lab guide, you're presented with this. Make sure you've got the right tenancy. So OSC EMEA 001.
At the top there, and then
you click OK.
What you want to do is click the continue button. So if you read the instructions say do not click continue, the instructions tell you to press this down button, okay, which reveals the for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Direct sign-in. So you can use the username and password from the spreadsheet in this form here, click sign in, and it will ask you to change the password because it's a one-time password. So just to recap, go back here. Okay, the first thing you'll see is OSC EMEA 001. You click continue for the first time, but then do not click continue on the screen that you see in front of you. Click the down button here. The instructions are quite implicit about this. Put the username into here, FNuser99, whatever you're using, and then the password here, and click sign in at the bottom. So you need Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Direct sign in. So Cancer, do you want to just let us know that you've managed to log in? That would be wonderful.
That's the top of the hour as well, just be aware.
Yeah. Srini, I'm not sure. There's a couple of choices for the login. For the lab, we are using this, what we call native users. And click the down button, get the screen here. The users are inbuilt into the tenancy. This continue button at the top, which is causing a few issues, takes you to log in for a user that's federated from another identity provider, so something like AD or whatever. So, I mean, the instructions are quite clear on this. So you just need to use this Oracle Infrastructure Direct sign-in. It's a lot easier for us for the lab, okay?
And also, Angus, if I can take that one, right? So we also have, the link that was posted to the samples, right, has quick start. So there are 3 options that you can choose from, right? This is one option where we are giving you a student environment for you to use. But when you get your own tenancy, for example, you can choose the Cloud Shell option, which is right in your browser. And it's just a bunch of copy-paste commands exactly for your user that is logged into that account. So it's just an easy way for you to just click copy-paste. And within, I think, 7 steps, you would be up from 0 to a hello world function in about,
Yeah.
I think, 7 clicks.
And
Seven
as
clicks.
James pointed out, if you go by the Oracle booth, the virtual Oracle booth, you can get a special offer for a free trial in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and then you've got your own tenancy. So you won't be using our one, you'll be using one that's dedicated to your free trial, and you'll be able to try those samples. Thanks, Abhirami. I hope you got in. And bear in mind, we're going to leave these environments up for you guys. So if you're really keen and you want to spend your lunch break or whatever, or your coffee break doing this, they'll be up for a while, yeah? Hey, thanks, Srinivasan. I hope you guys have a good conference, yeah, and everybody keep safe. No problem, Geeta. Thanks for joining and trying. I really appreciate everybody's time in this, having a go. You can hopefully, thank you, Jotri. I'm sorry, I've been murdering your name. I'm really sorry, but thanks for joining.
It's Jyotirmoy.
Jyotirmoy. Thank you.
It's a little tricky for you to pronounce, but it's Jyotirmoy. I hope I have pronounced it right, Jyoti.